Hey there, hi there, ho there, neighbors. That 90s show premiered today. Miley is sending herself flowers, and Avatar continues to be wet. All that and more tonight on the Rundown.
And we're just gonna power through. Let's just power through. Welcome guys to the Rundown, guys. Entertainment news by fans for fans. I am your host, Chris Fagan, and one of the hosts, but steering the ship and keeping us on track. Adding the navigation to the show will be my wife, Joy Fagan. Hey, babe, how you doing?
I'm good.
I'm gonna just power through and we're just gonna forget about table number 3. No, just joking. Also joining us today is.
Okay.
What's it again? I think it begins with a Q.
You just get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
You don't know karate, but you do know crazy. Tabitha Jordan.
That is me. I got
All
that.
right. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys, but look, the computer system that I'm on right now has been giving me signs that it's been delayed, but luckily our show sponsor, Joy, has blessed us with some new equipment, so hopefully this will be the last time these technical you know what else is probably added to the problem? My my ADHD?
Yeah.
I rearranged the whole studio, so you guys might notice that it's a little different. You guys on the podcast, you can't see this, but this place looks a little different. We're at a different angle. I eliminated a wall. See, there's Tabitha, and she looks like she's in the corner with the dunce hat on. Remember that from most of that right there? And then with the best lighting and camera angle ever, there's Joy right there.
Joy's got it going on. She has got it going on.
Looking like she's married to a crypt over there. True blue to the heart in this whole.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what that was about. But guys, thank you for joining us on. We're live streaming, hopefully on YouTube, Twitch. We're not on Facebook right now. I noticed that, but so hit the like button, follow us. We appreciate you guys who have already subscribed to the channel. Sorry if you guys have noticed we were almost an hour late. So I'm pretty sure 5 of you have unsubscribed. Well, these guys can't be on time. Well, then I'm out of here.
It is what it is.
But come back if I promise it won't happen again. I promise it won't ever happen again. I said that earlier, and this one right here was like, you a lying mother.
Liar. Liar.
I'm just talking about
You
Shaq.
sit on a throne
Of lies.
So the rundown tonight is going to be divided up in 3 acts. So in Act 1, we're going to talk about entertainment news, some trending topics and stuff like that. Act 2, we're going to do some reviews. I think Joy's got the review that she's dying to share with you guys. We're going to do a whole. We haven't done a binge review in a long time. A traditional channel binge review where within 24 hours you binge the show that just dropped on Netflix. I haven't done it in years. Joy just killed a series today. She's going to share that with you guys today. I shouldn't have said it like that, I guess, because we're also live on TikTok and they're watching.
They watching.
So I'm sorry about saying the K word. So guys, this is also a shooting star stream. Usually if we go overtime, then anything you saw live and went over an hour, this show is going to be edited down to about 45 minutes. But if we go overtime, we're gonna put that on the members only part of the show. So if you're a member, if you're a Patreon, you're going to get to see all the stuff that we talk about in overtime. If we can keep the show close under an hour, which we're already over since we started so late. So technically, it is what it is. It's going to be if Tabitha's like, all right, I'm tapped out, I'm gone. Because we're going to be here till 10 o'clock at night. Trying to talk about Avatar. All right, so guys. Appreciate you guys bearing with us through all that. So without further ado, let's get into. I'm going to stall for a second as we get into entertainment news because I forgot my folders aren't even open. I can't even start the show if I wanted to. There we go. Topics. There we go. Talking about topics. Topics here on the Rundown. Rundown, yeah. Entertainment news and reviews by fans. That ain't even on the screen. Let me see if I can get the topics up. Guys, like I said, you guys listening on podcasts are like, what the hell is going on over there? There it is. Entertainment news. Woo! There it is. All right. Let's start with, I'm sorry, I'm doing your job. No, you're the navigator. You're supposed to be the one that goes, entertainment news. So just, what are we going to be talking about?
Let's see. Up first is Avatar: The Way of Water surpasses Spider-Man: No Way Home as sixth biggest film of all time with 1.92 billion. Babe, you predicted that this film would not surpass 1.5, and now it looks like it's only a matter of time till it hits 2 billion. What say you about the success of Avatar still being wet at the box office?
Before he gets into it, Air 5 to you and I, who claimed that one. Boom. Yeah, we totally called that shit.
Totally.
Look,
People are still getting wet. They're
I'm just look. It surpassed Spider-Man, and it's going to hit the $2 billion mark, and it's just it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's
And you were wrong.
and
That
I was
is
wrong.
what it is.
I predicted that it wouldn't go past 1.5. Then I amended it to 1.6, and then it went to 1.7 billion in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-hour damn movie. I don't know how he did that. James Cameron
did it.
never
He did
doubted.
it.
But this man right here, he's got his eye on the prize for 2 billion right there. He's looking at it, and it's in sight. I had
Such a pretty 2 billion.
yeah, I had my so I had my doubts, and I had a whole rundown I was gonna do on James Cameron talking about the movies that he's done, but to save time with all the rearranging I've done, I'm not even gonna go into that.
the goose that laid the
Let's just
golden
say I
egg.
was wrong. He never doubt James Cameron. Tabs, what do you think about this whole?
I feel like it was to be expected that this would happen. Like Joy and I talked about it after seeing the movie and kind of seeing the setup. I really feel like it was obvious that it was going to hit this, and the way that the storyline sort of progressed and then left it open-ended, it's just created more talk about it, and I think it did really well with trying to get people into the theater.
Yeah. He knows how to tell a story that translates to the. If you look at the domestic box office of it, it's not doing that great, and it's really slowed down in the States. But the rest of the world, James Cameron. But this is what he does with Titanic, with Avatar, these types of movies. He tells these types of stories that it translates to every country, no matter what country you're from. Subtitles or not, doesn't really matter. He tells these stories that everyone can just connect to, and the spectacle of the 3D and the awe and wonder of what's on the screen. He taps right into that little diddly hole, right into your soul, man.
Well, to give him credit where credit is due, he really hit the nail on a lot of a storyline.
He hit the G spot of the
storyline. Yes, he did. He did. Of the storyline that's really relevant now. Like, we had talked about before where there was sort of like a race situation going on with the different tribes,
Right.
and like really showing that conflict and acceptance, and then the struggle to get the acceptance.
Right.
Like, these are things that we're really hashing out right now in our society. And so I feel like he did a really good job on hitting very relevant stories for what people are interested in right now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you add the visual aspects to everything, and people are drawn into that. And
I got to get that dewdrop just right.
Yes, exactly. It was like insane visuals. So he really did, I think, a really good job of making it relevant for now.
Yeah.
Which, with as long as it took to make the movie, I was legitimately afraid that wasn't going to happen. So,
I mean, you still got a lot of diehard, like, Marvel fans.
Yes.
That are like, well, we didn't get the benefit of things premiering in China and whatnot that James Cameron has gotten. So therefore, it's not fair. It's not even.
Yeah, I was mad about that with Spider-Man. A lot of the Marvel movies didn't get China releases, but then I
I'm
thought
like,
about it some more. I
oh,
mean,
no.
they were limiting how many movies from America they were getting anyway. There was a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think just at the time, those movies that came out just got the raw end of the deal. And now that the pandemic has slowed down, James Cameron was like, that was probably another reason why James Cameron was like, I ain't releasing this movie yet because I'm gonna get those.
He's like,
I know how good my
don't be mad
movies
at me
do.
because I knew how to
Yeah,
play the
I knew how to.
game.
Yeah, he knew how to thread the needle. He knew how to do it.
yeah, he was hustling. He was hustling
He's
right.
I know this movie is going to do okay in the States, but it's going to go crazy in England and Brazil and all the other countries. So and James Cameron seems to know that. So he told Disney, "No, you're not releasing this." He was right. I was wrong. Moving on. You're sure, yeah, you got to be the one to keep us on track, because I'll monologue for like days.
He will.
IGN Lionsgate has announced that Training Day director Antoine Fuqua will helm the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, and that it will be produced by Academy Award-winning producer Graham King of Bohemian Rhapsody fame. Michael is set to begin principal photography later this year, and John Branca and John McClane, the co-executors of Michael Jackson's estate, will be producing the film alongside King. Tab, we all know that Michael Jackson has a complicated story surrounded by controversy. How does Lionsgate do this, in your opinion? What era of his life do you focus on?
So I think this is an excellent question, and you're talking to the person who has an unpopular opinion about Michael Jackson. So I respect what he has provided musically for our history of music. Like, I get the genius of what he has provided. I also understand his trauma of his childhood. But there are some allegations, granted they have not necessarily been proven, so I will leave them at allegations, but there are a lot of them, so it makes it a little hard to ignore. So I have a hard time enjoying his music presently. I can respect what he's provided, but I don't necessarily enjoy it. When it comes to his movie, I would think that for someone like me would be interested in his whys. So the childhood, what's caused this traumatic response that he has and the development that he has had? What led him to be the Michael Jackson that he was as an adult? I don't know if I would want the movie to dive into the essay allegations of everything with, you know, the minors and such, or the children aspect of rumors. I think I would be more interested in maybe understanding the whys of the complication that came later for the biopic, for what I think would do well as a movie. Because if they start bringing in the essays and the issues with the children, I think it's going to become a lot of there's going to create a lot of conflict about, because it's hearsay. Nothing's been proven. There's been, you know, he obviously can't be brought to trial for anything. He's no longer here, so that's not something that can happen. I just think that it's going to create a lot of defensiveness for his estate and his image if we try to bring that into the movie, versus if we just focus on the whys of everything, what he had to go through as a child, what he went through as a teenager, what he went through in the youth of his day, and where his mental capacity was through all of that.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. I thought, and I remember when I was when this news came out today, and I was putting this together, I was like, am I gonna have to make an announcement and be like, we're only gonna focus? But you said everything I was about to say right off the top. You're like, the allegations were there. Now, I thought about this from a person who grew up, you know, loving the Jackson 5s and idolizing Michael Jackson for his music and everything. But I see it the way Dave Chappelle talked about it. When he joked about it, like the way you have the hardcore Michael Jackson fans, especially in the black community, who didn't want to believe any of it, of the negative stuff, because of the history that they knew Michael had, and the history and the things that he gave through his music. It's just how beloved he was worldwide. It's like Dave Chappelle was like, I can't believe any of those allegations. The man made Thriller. That was the excuse. Like, that was Thriller. But then he was, and this is something that we all 100% agree on. No matter whether or not it's still allegations, he's obviously he was probably a victim of some kind of trauma when he was a child as well. You wanted to recapture your childhood. We understand it, but you're still a grown man. So the question, when he made that joke about, oh, okay, so you don't believe those things, but would you let him watch your children? Ew, no. Now, like that was the response. Yeah. No, I can't believe that he did those. No, I would not trust him to watch my children. Like, it was like,
absolutely,
because you can't risk it. So that was always the ongoing agreement between the community and Michael Jackson. I will support you, but you are going to stay over there, and no, don't come over here, kind of a thing. You're like at arm's length. So and I can disassociate it though, because just like Cosby, I'm not a fan of him now. I used to love him, but when he was actually charged and convicted of I can say in my heart, I can say, I mean, Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable didn't do all those things. But Bill Cosby can rot in prison for I don't give a shit.
See,
Like,
I
stuff
have
like
a hard
that.
time disassociating with that. When convicted and proven that these things happen, I have a real hard time supporting them in any aspect of their life because
I got an answer to that. But go ahead.
as someone who experienced SA and has gone through that, it for me creates a real harsh boundary that I have to create for my own mental wellness and my own ability to be able to accept someone into our society. And I can't do that for someone. Like, I give people, I'm a believer of innocent until proven guilty, wholeheartedly.
But
So
he
that's-
was found guilty.
He
so that's-
was found guilty.
Guilt.
And
Bill Cosby.
yeah,
No,
Bill Cosby,
yeah.
not Michael Jackson. So, like, I cannot disassociate from Bill Cosby, but that's why I have that sort of wall with the Michael Jackson, where I can say, you know what, I can support what he's done for society and what he's done for music, but I am on edge about the allegations. So that's why I have the opinion of where I think the movie should be
Right.
in that way, because I can't be vulnerable to the possibility of all those allegations being
Right.
true.
What about you, Dad? Where you land on it?
I'm on this. Well, I love his music. Michael Jackson. Which, I can put that on and jam to that anytime.
Yeah.
I'm on the camp of we've done. I know that he hasn't been on the big screen, but how many times do we need to make a Michael Jackson story?
I mean, there's never been a feature
I know he's not
length.
been on the
It's
big screen, but we've had so many TV shows, and what else do we need? We know he's fabulous. His music. What else do we need to?
I mean,
with
technically,
that?
there is no movie in the world that needs quote unquote to be made. It's just entertainment. You don't need it to.
I know. I'm
you don't
just
need
like though. It's
to- for
we've
air, like
we've
air
had
and
so
water.
many. So what
But
exactly are we going to? What are we going with it?
But he made a statement. Are biopics entertainment or are they informational?
I mean, well, look, the Weird Al the Yankovic movie. That was
Okay,
very
first of all,
entertaining.
Weird Al is
You-
Weird Al. But if we're
you
to-
thought it
but-
was I didn't think it
I
was.
mean,
Yeah.
no, but I'm just talking about how successful it was as far as what it did. It was still a biopic. But my statement was about how movies in general, any movie, not just biopics, they don't technically need to be made. This is all for money and profit. That's the only reason why any movie gets
absolutely.
Oh, no.
greenlit.
But I think a backstory or a biopic, if you're going to fall under the biopic, that is about
make money.
learning. Well, it's also about learning the behind the scenes aspect of a human being that
Yeah.
you might not necessarily know all the story to. That's
Right.
the purpose of a biopic. Someone who has been in the limelight, who you've seen a facade of, but there's also another story behind that. So that's
there's
the
going
point
there's
of
going to be
that.
an agenda based on no matter what. It all depends on where the writer decide, like you said earlier, where the writer decides to focus on. That's why that
Correct.
question was so important.
Yes.
What era? Because there's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
Yes.
eras in this man's life that was only like within a 50 some odd year period that you can make a whole movie out of. It's so
Absolutely.
hard. To really
I mean, we just
do
don't
it.
really know where. I mean, are we going the Elvis route to see the demise? Are
Mm-hmm.
we going just his genius and just seeing how he came up with music?
Mm-hmm.
There was a
What are
Bill.
we
What's his
focusing
name?
on?
Not Bill Gates. Well, there was a one of the many Steve Jobs movies that came out at the same time. The one that Michael Fassbender did. They only focused on like one. I think it was. I didn't watch the movie, but I think it was focused on a couple of days. It was the whole movie was set on like when he was about to make the announcement. And correct me in the chats if I'm wrong. When he was about to announce the iPhone for the first time, and I think it was only focused. But then I saw Steve
It's
Jobs
like if
movies
you
that
just want to do something a little more different, where it's just more where he came up with music, not.
Well, it came getting his butt whooped by his daddy and forcing him into the
I
game
mean, like
is where he
in
came
the
up with
studio,
music.
like where are we coming up with like
What his muses were, what his inspiration was, what
putting
his,
things together,
Yeah.
that stuff,
How he
not-
developed
not
it.
really
Yeah.
where I started.
I will
where
say
personal.
the era
feels-
between him and Motown when he went solo, that's a story right there.
See, so I think though if they take that route, I would be in the position Chris was in about Elvis. Because to me that would feel lackluster of the history of Michael Jackson. I feel like it would be the cop out of the story. Like they're not wanting to take the risk
Right.
of what his livelihood
Because no matter what you do, if you only tell the good side of his story, you're gonna have 50% of the world that's gonna be like, well, what about all the bad stuff he did? And if you only focus on the bad stuff, then you're gonna insult the people who loved his music and what he contributed to the world, and be like, well, you only, this was a hit piece and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it from both sides. So you might as well do sort of what Elvis did and
address some of it.
Go and address all of it if you can.
I just think addressing the allegations will create it's going to create conflict within our society with regards to supporting versus not supporting him.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to create a real divide between people who either like him wholeheartedly through everything and support him through everything versus people who are really struggling wanting to like him because they grew up with him and enjoyed his music versus the person he became. Because who he became was not
how he started.
Not how he started.
Yeah.
He grew into something. Even if you throw out the allegations, he grew into something that wasn't great. He had a lot of mental illness. He had a lot of drug issues. He had a lot of things going on within just his personal self that weren't beneficial to his health, obviously.
Right.
So I think that if they focus on maybe what caused, like we all kind of really know his end game. So if they focused on what caused the beginning of everything, the whys, and sort of his growth into his music, I think would be better beneficial for society's view of enjoying the movie and it not being so controversial.
Well, the director that they picked, Antoine Fuqua. I mean, if he's known for crushing it, and the Jackson machine, I'm gonna just call it like that, the family. I would not be surprised if they have just as much control, because this is the same writer, I believe, that did Bohemian Rhapsody. What's his name? I think that's who they said.
It's the same director, I thought, of Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
And when they originally was doing the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, they wanted Borat. We talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
They wanted him.
Yeah.
He was originally cast to play Freddie Mercury. But the band was like, no. They went for another. Even though I keep calling him Borat. I know it's Marshall Cole was. He has a musical background. He has the background, and he looked like Freddie. And so the fans were kind of against it, but then at the end it worked out. But that's rare when you have interference like that. You usually let the director do their thing. I don't see the Jacksons being that subtle. The Jacksons will be trying to control this. They have a lot
to say when it comes to
Michael
anything about that.
Because because Michael was the biggest moneymaker of the family, and they're going to protect the money. They're going to protect the money. So they're not going to allow what they're going to look at as in their heart is a hit piece. The allegations, it wasn't true. They're going to say all that. They're going to be totally defensive, which now I'm going to use your line, for me, is going to make it a worse move, because we all saw what happened.
Yep.
We saw them going to court. And if they ignore that, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, if they try to lie about it, it's going to do nothing but make them look bad. We aren't a society of stupid people. Like we were there. We know
wrestling isn't real anymore. We've gone past the whole pretending like wrestling is real. I know we spend more time on that one than we show each other, but guys, let us know what you guys think about the whole idea of the Michael Jackson movies being greenlit. It's coming. We're going to go into the website, but we don't have time for that. Let's quickly go into the next topic, babe. What do we have coming up next?
Selena Gomez released, well, I saw it on TikTok, a little clip of they're getting ready to start production on season 3 of Only Murders in the Building. And
there was a little surprise, right?
Yes, we've got Mr. Rudd.
I love him.
Do you not watch Meryl?
I've only seen season 1 so far.
Good. And the iconic Meryl Streep.
Oh my God, Meryl Streep. Okay, this is very exciting.
Yes, so excited.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep. I mean, come on. Like, come on. I love it.
You've only seen
season 1.
So
I'm in season 1.
You got to catch up.
I'm still catching up. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, what do you think? While I fix another glitch that kind of is going on right now, give me your thoughts on Murders in the Building. We enjoyed it. I
love it. I mean, Steve Martin and Martin Short I mean, because they've been
Yeah.
doing stuff together for years.
Ever.
They're hilarious.
Well, they feed off each other so naturally that it is like watching two people who like are that way in person.
And even though there's a really big age gap, Selena
Yeah,
being so
she
young,
does really well.
she's jumped in really well with them.
Well, from what I've seen, I've really enjoyed her comedy style.
Yeah, she's
with
done
them.
really well. It's
And
been
it's
really
I
cute
thought she was
and
going to
really
be the weakest
fun.
link. I thought she was
Yeah.
going to be a drag.
She's really
one
held
of the
her
best
own.
parts
Before
of
we
it.
started watching it and I heard, I was like, I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched
Yeah.
her with my kids
Yeah.
on stuff, but I was like,
No, I was very
How does that
impressed
work?
with her comedy style and the way, like, comedy is, in my mind, this is how I view it, is like it's got a musicality to it. There's a rhythm, there's a beat, there's a thing that you kind of have to flow with, and I think Steve Martin and they have like a very specific flow to their comedy style, and she just fits in it really well, which I truly enjoyed, and I was very impressed with her abilities for that, like wholeheartedly impressed, because I was skeptical. I was really skeptical. I think she's funny, and I've seen her in the kid shows, but that's a different level than this, and so I was legitimately pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I
and we
enjoyed it.
know, I mean, we know Mr. Rudd.
Oh God,
He can do anything.
I
so-
love him from like Clueless days.
Oh, man.
God, I loved him from those days. He was like,
He wasn't a part of your awakening?
I mean, no. I mean, at that point,
I
I was
mean-
actually really attracted to Alicia Silverstone as well. But
And Meryl Streep's done everything.
I mean, Meryl
I
Streep can do no wrong wholeheartedly. I love her.
I think she'll do great with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So wow! So all the lower thirds that I created are all jacked up and not working. So that was a bust. That's what I was trying to fix this whole time when we were talking. That's why we let that one drag for a long time. But don't worry about it. Let's move on to the next. What do we
right.
got next, babe? This is something that I know that Tabitha's really
It's
excited
been stuck in her
Stuck in my
head,
head
all day.
all day.
Miley's new single, Flowers, is her post-breakup self-empowerment anthem that fans are all like, yeah, totally about her ex-husband, Liam Hemsworth, because of the lyrics and because she released it on his 33rd birthday and she's wearing like his suit.
So she wears
From
their
their
wedding
premiere.
or was it?
It was
premiere?
from
That was
a
from their
Marvel
wedding.
premiere or something.
Oh, okay.
They said where people interpreted him scolding her on the
Oh,
red carpet.
the one where she
something.
she tried to like back up on him and dance a little, and he was like, "We're not
act
doing
right or
that."
something.
So the whole deal was okay. So not only was it the house that she filmed the video in.
But the song is from their wedding.
Yes, the song
Bruno
is Bruno
Mars,
Mars. He dedicated
yes.
it to them. So she kind of did a reverse lyrics from the Bruno Mars song. But the house that she filmed the video in is the house that he rented to cheat on her with.
Oh, okay.
The workout she's doing, yeah.
I wish I had the soundboard up.
Yeah. Yeah. The workout she's doing in the video is his workout that he does.
So this is her on Crimea River.
This is her own Crimea River. Yes.
Have to say.
Yes. But it is literally her going F you to all the things he did within their relationship. And so I am full support of her putting this out there, but it's stuck in my freaking head and I need the song out of my head. Like, it's driving me bonkers.
I have.
And I do buy myself flowers. That is something I do.
am good with her. He should have. I'll just put it like this: if he wanted to stick with his convictions, I didn't know that's why they broke up, but when they were dating, I saw them as a mismatch from day one. I thought, she's in her. Now that I mean, I'm gonna try to milk hip hop as much as I can phase, and when I never bought any of her of what she was doing with her music, and then when she got what she wanted out of it, noticed that she changed her style up again. I always looked at her as I don't have any problems with her now. I just didn't like that. I just thought that part of her music phase was just so fake to me. I just couldn't stand it. And then when she stopped it, then I was okay.
Disagree with that.
I mean,
I disagree with the fake word.
I say it's fake only because I know that's not how she was raised. She does it. She does all the twerking and stuff as if in my head it was this. Is this what you think? Is this what your stereotype of what you think that of this style is? And when she was done, I felt like when she got what she needed out of it, she threw it away.
But that's not fake. That's called growth. So people have to do things to figure out what fits them. And I think it's unfair to claim that anybody transitioning or trying out a style or doing something within their own personality or even down to their stylistic, their clothes. It's not fake, it's growth. They're trying something out, seeing if it works for them. If it doesn't work for them, then they move on to the next thing. That is just part of trying to find yourself, especially and the problem with Miley is she's in the spotlight. She doesn't get to try F up, not like it, and it not be everywhere. That is just because she's in the spotlight. And she was literally traumatized most of her life, child actor, and had to figure that shit out in front of everyone. I don't know if I consider that fake. I consider that growth.
I consider it fake because I feel like Justin Timberlake virtually did the same thing, but it didn't come off as
really unfair comparison. He is a white male who does not get judged in the public eye like a female does when anytime she's sexual, anytime she does anything outside of the box. Unfair comparison. She is a female who has tried to grow in the spotlight and figure herself out and did all of it with constant judgment. Justin Timberlake was never judged for anything. Even when he brought sexy back, he was just a man bringing sexy back.
When he brought sexy back, people, I heard, and I was one of them who said, "When did it ever leave?" Like it was.
You love you some Justin Timberlake.
I love his music, but I'm not a celebrity worshiper. I'm not gonna give him a pass on everything. When Justin Timberlake did what he did on stage with Janet Jackson took all the heat from it on something that he was equally a part of.
Exactly. That's my whole point. He didn't get criticism.
I know that, but it doesn't change how I feel about Miley Cyrus.
But if
because
Miley Cyrus ripped off Janet Jackson's nipple,
she would
have been criticized with Janet Jackson, and they would have both been demeaned. That's why they can't be compared. You cannot compare Justin Timberlake's process to Miley Cyrus's process.
I'm not doing that.
You just did.
I said that the way it comes off to me is that she was using it as a. How can I put it? Well, no, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am being unfair because both of them were. I mean,
I felt like it looked as I wouldn't say fake, rebellion.
Yes, absolutely can do. I can get behind rebellion, doing something on purpose.
She started with Disney with her dad, and it was just total. We tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and you are on TV, so you will look like the good girl that you are. And when she finally was able to do what she wanted, she was like, I am going to do whatever I want.
She went to the
extreme.
extreme.
Some of it was shock value, but it was like, because I'm going to show you, I will do whatever I want.
But you know what worked with her doing that? She did that. She went to the extreme. She went so far that everybody's like, what the hell is Miley doing? And then now that she gets to be herself, which is a bit more sexualized, which is on the outskirts of norm, which is in the LGBTQ community, without her being criticized for her just being herself now. She rebelled, she showed what the extremities could be, and now she's her normal average self, which really is an extreme version of what the good girl self of her was. And she's just getting to be herself now without the severe criticism, and now she's getting support. I really think that it's growth. It's her getting to who she is.
And we got off topic a little bit, but it was during that time, and I'm glad you guys are in the chat room. Y'all guys are helping me figure out that I'm glad the chat works again. I used to not be able to see it for a long time, but now I see you guys. Perry, Kelly, how you doing? But Liam, from his point of view, Liam was thinking, I'm with the Hemsworth clique. I was just in what's that? The Hunger,
fuck his white boy.
The Hunger Games. My brother's store. We're us Hemsworths are on the rise, and I felt like he was like, you're experimenting and growing, and the way he was coming off was kind of pompous, as if he was like, you're embarrassing me and you're embarrassing
He's fake. He's the one cheating and doing all this shit.
I think some of his was his own acting out as well, because he's like, I am.
Yeah, because he got with her knowing that she was already acting like that.
She's bigger than me. My brother's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And so I need to do something so that people look over here at me.
Notice me.
Did anybody watch The Good Place and how one of the Hemsworth brothers was on there talking about how It's just woe is. I'm just
Which one is the Hemsworth brother? The Good Place, the comedy? We watched The Good Place.
There, he's in one of the later seasons as oh God, what's her name? I just lost her name. The boyfriend that kind of comes in where she's engaged to him for a bit, but like,
oh, okay.
But it's like, my brothers, I'm just a lowly
I think I
doctor,
remember that.
and like the
He
stereotype.
kind of made fun of himself about it.
Yeah, he made fun of himself about it because it's a real concept.
Yeah.
But I think Liam was living the fake life more because he's
in his brother's shadow and
yeah,
stuff.
well, not even that. He's wanting to present this, I'm a good guy, I'm a strapping guy, I'm like my brother, but he's the one over there cheating on the wife and renting a freaking house. Do not cheat once, but multiple times on his wife.
I'm not gonna 100% sit back and think that she was 100% not doing anything else either. With all the partying and all the stuff that she was doing with Lil Jon and all them, she did some stuff too. She might not have gotten caught. And you can say
accusations are accusations. Facts
exactly
are
what
facts.
I'm giving. Yeah.
The fact is,
that's the truth. He got caught. But everybody in the hip hop community was saying the same thing. She was doing her dirt stuff too. Maybe I think it was before they got married though.
It was, I think, before
you
they got
have
married.
two people that are extremely young, extremely immature,
mentally unstable.
Let's just call it what it is. He thought he was about to become more famous than her eventually.
A lot
and
of
it didn't
stuff
happen.
going on,
And then he tried to simp his way back over. Now that she started to calm down, and now that she's starting to, like you said, she finished that phase. Now she's back to her original,
her actual self,
her original setting. And now his was just like, now that's a wife again. Now let's see if I can get her back. And she was like, and this is what we probably should have said like 10 minutes ago. The way she dissed him on it was so hard.
Yes, it was.
It was crazy. I'm 100% convinced that Liam got a phone call from his brother and his dad. Like, what the hell are you thinking? Now we all looking even more, you on your own on this one. I got Thor movies to make. You fucking up, Liam.
Well, I think this is really funny because any of the drama that they have or anything that goes on between them, I do not associate with Thor. I don't associate with his career. With Chris Hemsworth?
No,
I don't.
Because he's untouchable.
Like, I don't associate them
Liam's
like that.
star does not shoot anywhere or as far or as bright as Chris.
No.
So I'm sure that I was just joking about that. I'm sure that phone call didn't. I'm sure Liam got a text like, yeah, she got you, bro. I'm pretty sure that's what he got.
Yeah.
And with I'm sure Chris Hemsworth was at home looking at the news like, damn, told you not to marry that girl.
And he's actually, it's not even that he shouldn't have married that girl. It wasn't Miley that was the problem. I'm
pretty sure Liam thought that he was better than her.
Liam was actually the problem in that relationship, which is what I think most people aren't saying. That everyone was saying Miley was the problem. Miley was the issue. Miley was not the issue.
Miley was out on MTV stage thinking that she had something to twerk. I didn't.
Doesn't matter if she thought she twerked
I mean,
you work with
we're having
what
two
your
different.
Mama gave you, and you put it out there. Whether it's what you deem twerkable or not has no bearing on what she can or can't do. You let that woman twerk and love it. She's gonna come in.
It depends. Well, no, there's certain things in your relationship that you would not.
No, I do not get. I can go to my partner and say, I have a problem with this. This makes me uncomfortable. But I do not get to control my partner.
No, you don't. But he could also. He chose to f up, or if he wanted to out, they got divorced. They went their separate ways. Y'all went y'all separate ways for a reason. Why would you think it was a good idea that you think, I dumped her when I thought that I feel like he thought he was better than her. I feel like that.
I can get behind you on that.
I feel like he thought he was better than her when she was doing all the twerking, all the stuff I was saying earlier. I feel like he thought that she was becoming an embarrassment. That's why he started acting out. He probably wanted out. He chose the coward's way out. Let me just get caught. And then when she went back to her default setting, he was like, "Now this is the wife I thought I was gonna get in the Cyrus dynasty." And she like, "Yeah, no, somebody else gonna get that dynasty. You fucked up. You out of here. You out of here, bro."
I think that shows what a unsupportive and unreal person that Liam is.
Yeah.
If he can't support his partner and somebody he supposedly loves to do a a phase in their life like she went through, that person's not meant for them. No one is perfect, and we grow and change in long-term relationships, especially in marriage. And if you're not willing to have a conversation, work through something, and accept someone for who they are in that moment, you're not meant to be together.
Now that one I necessarily do not agree, because I could technically say that his cheating, his midlife was a midlife crisis and a phase he was going through.
Absolutely, but guess what? Was he
But
willing
does
to
she? But does she have to support him?
No, she does not have to support him
But
through
why
it.
does he have to support her?
No, I didn't say that he has to. I said if he doesn't,
If he
then they're
can't,
not.
then
Then
he
they're not
has
meant
to-
to be
then he
together.
has to move- then he
That
has
was
to
my
move on.
point.
Yeah,
That was my point.
yeah.
Is they got to be apart.
Yeah, Liam knew it. Liam knew he was. He wanted out. He chose the coward's way out. That's how he got caught on purpose.
I don't think he got caught on purpose. I just think he's stupid.
The thoughts and opinion of Tabitha Jordan do not necessarily reflect on the rundown. No,
It reflects this rundown.
that's
He's stupid.
like that's my rundown.
He's stupid.
We got more stuff to go through.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we got to
yeah.
move on because I could start ragging on him all night.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Liam,
We got more
you played
cheaters.
yourself.
We got more cheaters to talk about.
We do.
All right.
And I don't know. And guys, let me know if it's lagging again. I think
It
is.
was, but
Yeah, so
it's
sorry
kinda-
about that, guys. If it's starting to lag a little bit, we're gonna try to pick it up and run through the rest of it. What do we have next?
from Unilad.com, Officer Megan Hall
Oh,
God.
yeah,
of
Megan
Laverne
Hall.
Police Station has allegedly been engaging in all the sexual relations with 6 male officers, sometimes while
and
on
a partridge
duty.
in a pear tree.
Yeah, exactly.
She getting it on.
Inside city-owned property. According to local reports, the former police officer had engaged in sexual relationships and exchanged explicit photos with some of her male colleagues who have also been either fired or suspended, and claimed to be in an open marriage with her husband, Jedediah Hall. That name says it all. Now that word of the workplace scandal is out, Megan's husband is going to stay by her side.
So here's the real question I have:
Feel
Are
like
they
for
actually
me-
no?
Here we
Are they
go.
actually in an open marriage? Is that a real concept of their marriage? Because if that's a real concept
I-
in their
I-
marriage,
if I
then-
remember correct, I feel like that they were, but we were just talking about boundaries and
Yeah.
stuff too. Like just like with Liam. Like if you knew that's what it was about, then y'all shouldn't. If you wasn't with it, you shouldn't have got married to it. If they were in an open marriage, I think from one of the reports that I read, I think he said yes, that was the case. But what she did was she went outside of the agreement of what they were allowed to do.
Oh yeah, then that's so. The only way poly or open relationships can work is main one, communication. If you do not communicate, you are not in an open relationship or in a poly relationship. 2, it's got to be you have to live by the boundaries. If you do not live by those boundaries, you are not in
sword, you die.
you are not in a poly relationship. You are not in an open marriage. You are cheating. That is the difference.
I think the threesome and all the other
Yeah.
extra stuff is what
Yes.
was outside of what they agreed. Or maybe that was just an excuse they came up with after the fact because of the embarrassment.
Yeah.
Now it could be column A, it could be column B. The funny thing about it is, like, with all the memes and stuff that's been going around, that's only been focused on her. Everybody's like, well, what about, this is another situation where, because of how sex is viewed and how women get the butt of most of these jokes and the targets of all the, being, when a guy does it, he's a stud. When a girl does it,
She's a whore.
Exact, and whatnot. There's 2 ways that I think about it on this, because these guys that she did this with, her coworkers, you're never going to convince me that she was the only one that there's definitely probably other women that each one of those guys was probably with, and probably other coworkers too, and that are laying low hoping that they don't also get dragged into it. The one problem with it is in this situation is none of those, which I know it's got to be true. Those guys have done it with other people besides her. But none of that evidence has come out yet. She is the only one in that story that, unless those guys were doing it with each other.
well, it did say that the guys had gotten suspended or fired.
No, I wasn't going to say the only one got in trouble. I said she's the only one that has been with multiple people
they're
in the
talking
station.
about multiple people
Yeah.
in the station.
But I know those
Oh,
other
yeah.
cops have also been with other
Absolutely.
multiple people too. They just haven't gotten
Absolutely.
caught yet.
Well, it's not even
and
about
they're
getting
throwing
caught.
her under the bus.
It's not getting caught. It is a staple within our our media that when women do something in the same manner as men, we demonize the woman and we
The memes
celebrate
have
the
been
men.
brutal.
Yes. And so don't get me wrong. Do I like people cheating? Hail to the no. And do I believe that maybe these circumstances with their marriage is a little bit different? Absolutely. But I still think she may have gone out of the boundaries of their marriage, and that definitely is not okay. But do I think that she's the only one fucking around in that department? Hail to the no. You've got, news article after news article of cops having sex, forcing people that they're arresting to have sex with them. You've got cops utilizing male cops utilizing their power to force an activity upon a female and making them do stuff so they can get out of something.
Hell, I've seen a story where a female cop did that to
Yes.
him. So it happened.
happens.
Those cops have done. Those other male cops have done other things.
Absolutely. So
But-
this story only focusing on her sleeping around in the department seems ridiculous. You know those men are.
What do you think about it? Before I play the next clip.
I think my thing is, with the way the world is today, I don't, y'all, you can do what you want to do, but you should know better than to be messy on the clock. If you want to,
That I agree with.
That was 100.
That I agree
fuck around,
with.
if you want to sleep with everybody, understand, do so, but do it on your own time.
Yeah, I don't pay
and
people
make sure
to-
that it's not something that's going to come back to your job
Yep.
to get you fired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100 because I don't pay my employees to F around. So
And you certainly shouldn't be. Again,
This is
you
not
need
what
to-
you're paid for.
We're
Yeah.
not sending pictures on clocks where people can.
the picture
you know,
thing,
And I'm
I
talking
mean,
about on the clock.
but still on the clock. We're on our phone looking at TikTok on the clock. Sending a picture on the clock.
Explicit though.
Yeah,
They were explicit.
I have sent many of fun photos to some ladies while I'm supposed to be working.
But I'm the boss, so I can get away.
That's true. I'm the boss, so I can get away with it. But that being, they're sending me stuff. Like, I've received it. They're technically
Yeah,
working.
you're just trying not to be rude. You gotta
but
send
you're
it
on
back.
your personal phone. You're doing something like that. That doesn't bother me. But if you're having intercourse while you're supposed to be working and
in the
you're
station.
in the station, that I'm not okay with.
I
got a problem with.
Out of all the memes and all the news that's mostly focused on her, I found one piece of local news coverage that was fairly even-handed on it. I think there's sound on it. Let's see hopefully it's working. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
It's a sex scandal making national headlines. An internal investigation uncovering several Laverne police officers having sex with each other, some while on the job and on city property. For many of the 8 officers involved in this investigation, it's not their first disciplinary action. WSMV4 obtained the personnel files for each of the 5 fired officers and 3 that were suspended.
3 suspended.
Officer Megan Hall was fired for being at the center of the sex investigation. Her personnel file shows she's been suspended 3 times for crashing her patrol car and was given a final warning back in October. Personnel files say Sergeant Henry Ty McGowan was suspended, and his rank was reduced back in 2007 for not patrolling and instead having sex while on duty. He then tried to interfere with that investigation. Officer Juan Lugo Perez had multiple written warnings in his file, including for taking a suspect's phone without logging the evidence. Documents show Detective Seneca Shields violated department policy during a police chase and used city computers for personal use. K-9 officer Larry Holliday was suspended for his role in the recent scandal and had previously been written up for smoking in his police car. The personnel files show all 8 officers signed off on the department's sexual harassment policy when they were first hired. After this latest violation, the Laverne Police Department is making
Like, just like that.
get retrained on its rules and
Elbows out.
regulations.
So that kind of tells you why some were fired so fast and others were. They were mostly on their last leg, and I think Nixon was like this is the movie that we really need. Forget Michael Jackson. Like, this is the biopic that we need to get on top of. But quickly, let's get to the last
Next.
main entertainment news topic, because we haven't even gotten to the reviews
I know.
yet. Babe, what do we have last on the entertainment news agenda?
Alec Baldwin and Hannah Gutierrez Reed are charged with involuntary manslaughter for the death of Halen Hutchins.
Hutchins? Mhm.
Hutchins, yeah.
Prosecutors said they were charged Mr. Baldwin with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, saying that he had a duty to ensure the gun and the ammunition were properly checked, and that he should never have pointed it at anyone. You should not point a gun at someone that you're not willing to shoot, the district attorney for Santa Fe County, Mary Carmack Altwies, said in an interview. That goes to basic safety standards.
When I first made a post about this on TikTok, it was like last year sometime. That was like my first TikTok video that made a lot of views. People had so many opinions on it. And I was on the fence of 50% of the people that are 100% against Baldwin were mostly people that are just mad about his Trump impersonation. Let's just be honest. But they're like, no, you're the person holding the gun. You're 100% responsible. Like really, on the actor side of it, there's people who are hired to clear these weapons and not supposed to be able to fire like a live round, or live rounds should not be even been brought in. And so I defended him mostly as on the actor side. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. He was also the producer.
That's the key point for me.
And you can so whether she's 100% guilty for bringing those live rounds in or not, or being careless or not, she has a defense that's I don't know how much of a defense is for her, because it still kind of makes her look bad. Because if you want to attack Alec Baldwin, you go, well, if she was this bad and she had all these complaints, if she was so inexperienced, because I think I heard about that, like this is like she didn't have as much experience as her father did. Like it was a situation where, like, my dad kind of got me into the business. Like
I've got a few. So I remember reading about this and reading a few details in regards to that, about her history and her career history. Mm-hmm. Yes, she was sort of considered a newbie, but she had worked with her dad on a lot of movies over a long period of time. This is the first one where she was primary. And the problem that was brought about that I think will be a part of her defense is about Alec Baldwin as producer, is he was cutting corners. Right. And he was causing a lot of mayhem for this movie in regards to not wanting certain things to be the way they're supposed to be because it was cheaper.
Right. And you're saying if that's the defense, you think that's the route. It might not make her look good, but it could.
Well, the
on
thing
certain
is,
charges.
When it comes to stuff like this, like in the medical field, he is more like the hospital. Mm-hmm. And when we have nurses that make mistakes and they go, but this happened because look what the hospital has taken away from us, done to us, that have caused this, the hospital goes,
I was just about to ask, isn't it easier for the hospital, the powers that be to throw,
and it gets placed
on I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope that doesn't happen, because from some of the things that I've read that Alec really set the tone for this movie to kind of be a fuck up because of the money restraints. Mm-hmm. Like, he was not following proper policies and procedures for this. Now, do I think the gun statement, anybody who points a gun, I'm sorry, but that's just stupid, because he's acting in a movie where he's got to point a gun at somebody because it's acting in a movie. I'm sorry. This is the most illogical.
It's not his job to get the gunpowder out of the bullet.
Yeah. I'm going to point it behind me, but I'm pretend. We're just
to be fair, there's no way in the world that Alec Baldwin would have, even if he was cutting corners, there's no way in the world he would have given a directive to, hey, mix in with the blanks live rounds. There's no way in the world.
That's the other part that's confusing, because when you read her statement of like the process of what happened, she wasn't doing that.
But live rounds were there. Even the cops that came.
Who brought the live rounds?
But she's the armorer.
But she may be the armorer, but she can't be responsible for
her armor.
No. For other people potentially sneaking things in.
And if they want to get away with not being charged, I'm not saying get away with it like as if they're not 100% responsible. What if that's the route that if they were smart, they'd work together and go, did someone else? Because if you looked at the footage of how devastating the picture that him on the phone trying to now that could be that image could be two things. That could be, oh my God, I can't.
Devastated.
I'm devastated over what happened, or it could equally be, oh my God, what is this going to cause? What is this going to do?
Both of those things
are
can be
valid
true.
reactions.
Yeah.
But then he started pointing fingers at her. Then she
Correct.
started defending herself and pointing fingers back at him. Now, if they want, now they both have been charged with this this crime equally.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with him being, oh shit, this is going to affect my career long term, and that sucks, and feeling concern for what he caused by out of his hand, because it did happen from him. That's obviously going to affect someone.
Right.
So I believe both things are true at the same time. Do I think that he should have started pointing fingers and taking the blame off of him and all that stuff? Because he's the producer.
I heard that the victim's husband is now a producer of the movie now, and is pushing for the movie to be finished because he wants to honor his wife.
I think that's wonderful. I don't have a problem with that.
If I remember reading correctly, him and Baldwin are on good terms. Like, he doesn't blame Baldwin, but that was earlier in the year last year. If new evidence comes out with this investigation now targeting her and Baldwin, if she can prove her case and if he can't defend himself properly, hell, even the victim's husband's support might mine would. If on the spot I believed you and was like, yeah, there's no way Mr. Baldwin could have done it. He's a great guy, I know. And then I find out later during when evidence is brought forth, you cut what corners? Like, dude, this could be real bad for. Like, at first I was like more on Alec's side on the fact that he was just an actor.
Correct.
But then when I started sitting back and going, he was also a producer. Now, a producer hires supposedly hires the right people, and sometimes they hire bad people in that situation, you can place the blame on the people that you hired. They effed up. You ask them to paint the house blue, they painted the house red. This is not what I paid for.
Yeah.
But if she can prove that he was always cutting corners, like, I don't know how much of a defense that is. You knew I was an idiot. Or I'm not saying she's an idiot, but I'm just saying, if that's the defense that's gonna get me off, I'll say, Alec, you knew I was this and that. If I knew that would get me away from being charged, because a lot of people take a plea and they'll plead guilty to something, to a lesser thing, so they won't go to jail for the major thing.
Look at it like this as well. If he's the producer and he's hiring everyone, okay, then you've got him. He hired her as the armorer, okay. So they've got that. She obviously needs to have more than her in her area. Like, it can't just be her.
Right.
So who hired those people? Was she responsible for hiring those people, or was he responsible for hiring those people? If he was responsible for hiring those people and he hired people that weren't a part of that industry before, did not know what they could or couldn't do, and just thought that bullets were bullets, and they brought in live rounds and they fucked that up, that's on him, not her. Because she can't be forced to have someone in her department that she didn't choose and then be responsible for their actions. That has to go on the boss.
But that's only if that's how it works.
That's true, but that's an option. You're assuming that it was her, all of it, because you made a whole story assuming that it was her. Well, I'm making the claim that there could be an additional
It depends on how that department works. I mean, when a producer hires a director, the director is pretty much the one in charge.
Correct, but he has assistants, he has a second.
But it would still fall. But anything that goes wrong is still mostly the director, because you hire a director to lead and steer your ship,
yes,
and bring the direction and the vision and all of it together. The director has to bring the writers to make sure the writers.
So is it the director's fault for not knowing that those were live rounds? Because if that's your argument, then that would put it on the person who got hurt.
The armory thing is a different beast. It's like that's like saying that would be if there was food poisoning and you tried to blame the director for what the lead caterer did.
Did they hire the caterer and not follow the background? We can make that argument, because it's the same argument you were making earlier.
And it comes back to Baldwin being the producer. If this being her first time taking the lead of this ship in that department was a problem. I mean, I know everybody has to finally, you got to come from your driver's permit and get your license eventually.
Correct.
You got to get out on the road. And but if you on the day one, when you first get your driver's license and you hit somebody on day one of driving, you're responsible, not the person who sold you the car.
Yes, that is accurate. And was there a malfunction in the car?
If that's their defense, I mean, was
there a malfunction in the car?
What happened in this situation was live rounds were mixed in with the fake rounds.
So, for example, the brakes failed and they ran into someone. Now, why did those brakes fail? Was it something that happened at the dealership? The dealership would be responsible. See, this is why the details of what happened matter.
From what I heard was, I mean, the live rounds that because the armory people were according to Baldwin's side, were playing around on the job, shooting live rounds between, having fun and stuff out there.
If that's the case, then it is the armor's responsibility because
Responsibility.
that
Because
is just now
Baldwin can't
bringing
control,
in.
that
Well, he
negligence.
can.
He
He
could
can.
fire if he found out.
Yeah.
And if he didn't fire her, when
he found out, that's
if
something-
if they can prove that he knew any of that bad behavior was happening, he's going down.
It's really going to come down to probably text messages, emails,
Details.
timelines, so that you can see
The whole
what-
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hope that you have those written things, those pictures, those photos, so that you can say, look, I did ask you this, I did tell you this, I did do this, and you ignored me, or you said okay, or whatever.
But
That
even
it's not just a verbal, well,
Correct.
I did, and they're like, no, you didn't.
so, and I agree with you on that. But even as the boss, if he's like, well, I told you this, but he didn't take any actions.
If they can prove that, then
That's
he's
what I'm
going
saying.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying on either side.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because even
that
me
you
as a-
hope that you
yeah.
have.
If I don't follow policies and procedures
Those-
whenever I've got a problem with an employee,
You hope you have
Yeah.
that documentation
Yes.
somewhere.
yes.
So that you can say, no,
there's
I-
also like NDAs and stuff like that or say, like on the last story, like they signed before they all got caught with this. I feel like if that scandal didn't blow up, none of those people would have been fired or disciplined that hard. They might have gotten suspended or disciplined
Yeah.
a little bit, but maybe not fired. But when they got caught and it blew up the way it blew up, the first thing that the department did was show that they signed a sexual harassment thing.
Yeah.
So if Baldwin has anything like that, like you said, on email or
Yeah.
something like that, where he says, make sure you're always 100% safe. I'm not going to hold your hand through this. You're the armorer.
Well,
And if
it's-
she signed it or
it's
something,
it's
he's
on
going
both,
to get out
on
like
both
that.
sides. You
Yeah.
hope whatever was going on, you got it written, copied somewhere, something.
Yeah.
And that's what, I mean,
You're right. I think
as a nurse,
Yeah.
that's what they always tell us. If you didn't write it down,
it didn't
doesn't
Did not
matter.
happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
As a realtor, nothing. What we always said. Nothing that is said to you verbally that that goes against what's on the contract is
Yeah.
legal. A lot is going to stand. It doesn't matter if I told you. It's okay if you pay your rent on the 6th. The contract says your rent is due by no later than the 3rd.
Yep.
And the late fees start on the 4th.
Yep.
But Chris told me to pay on the 6th. Well, why'd you listen? Because
I agree.
I'm not Chris, and I'm gonna charge you.
Us old nurses tell the young nurses, oh, well, when they say, oh, well, Dr. So-and-so always says I can do this and they don't care. Is that written somewhere? Because trust me, 100%, if something happens, they will throw you under the
Yeah,
bus.
Dr.
if it is
So-and-so
not
says it's all
written
your fault.
somewhere because
The go-to at my
It
track. Well,
must be written.
my kid races dirt bikes, even though he's not tall enough to get onto the go-kart. So when he gets in and he hurts another person because he's not tall enough and he's not being able to reach properly, who are you going to sue and who are they going to sue? Not you,
Right.
but me.
Right.
So no,
Ain't
like
gonna happen.
it's following policies and procedures are the biggest thing.
Happen, not gonna. If anybody needs a little bit of a commercial break, a break to go to the bathroom or something, we're gonna have a moment for that. So.
Is Tink Tink saying he's gonna
No,
go potty?
I don't. I'm good. I'm surprised on how good I am. I thought you've been liquid up, so I thought.
I mean, I might
thought
have to
you-
pee, but I can make it through the show.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
I got a bladder.
All right.
of steel.
All right. Now let's get to the next topic, which is us singing "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls."
I do know that whole song though.
Yeah.
it's karaoke night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on,
Don't
rivers and the
go
lakes.
chasing I can do that whole song.
As she drinks her tea.
Don't make me sing, please.
Give me the tea.
But
Anywho.
but before we get into the reviews, guys, let's I forgot to play. You know what? No, I'm sorry, Nix. We're gonna power through the commercial breaks. We're gonna just
We gotta get going.
We gotta keep it going because we're already over time. And I usually cut the cameras off on this, but if the stream is still working,
It's going.
that's I'm again sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. The ADHD was out of control. And
It
I just had to scratch that itch.
Reviews. Let's make it happen, Captain.
Okay, let's get into the reviews. My lower thirds aren't working. I can't even drop this picture into the thing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just start talking about it. Okay.
First of all, we've got The Last of Us.
Do we? Because I can't pull it up on the
Well,
screen here.
It's supposed to be
There we go. We got what again?
The Last of Us.
All right. What about it?
We watched it. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet, but that's okay.
We're not going to go into details
Yeah,
on it.
I really do want to see it. I'm very excited, but I haven't seen it yet.
I only played a little bit of the video game, and from what I saw, the comparisons of some of the scenes that I remember from the video game, they did a real good job. All I'm gonna say is that Pedro right here is this is his year. And why he's not I mean, he's dominating TV right now. He's got the #1 show on two streaming on the two top dogs of them all,
They dropped
HBO
a
and Disney.
Trailer on Mandalorian.
Yeah, we got the oh man, I wanted to talk about the screen trial. I forgot to tell us to watch that before the show started. We're gonna have to skip that. Dang it, I haven't even watched that yet. I'll watch it later.
I love her, by the way, because I used to watch Fringe. God, I had the biggest
That's
crush.
where she's from.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was killing me.
Yeah, I used to watch
It was
Fringe
killing me
religiously, and
of
I was
where
obsessed
I knew her from
with her.
because I knew she was great. I knew her.
Yeah.
I love Fringe,
Loved it.
She was great. You're not going to be disappointed with her character
thank God.
on that. She plays a real
Because
badass.
I had like a
on it.
severe crush on her.
And I've watched.
I convinced. I said, Joey, I know this is your type of show, but will you watch the
It
first
really,
one with me?
I mean, because I've watched like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up in any way, shape,
I
or
don't
form.
like The Walking Dead. But
But this one really, it's not heavy so far. It's not heavy focused on
yeah.
zombie. It's not like
Oh,
Walking
you know
Dead.
HBO's gonna give it to us later.
Well, no, but I mean, it's
They
not
tricking
like,
you in. HBO is like, come on over here, Joey. It's all good.
But again, I like The Walking, or I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, so far it was really good. It's really interesting.
the characters on the connection.
I'll say as Nixon, Zaddy Pascal, and as TikTok is in love with him.
Yeah.
he's throwing it out there.
Yeah, he's. I mean, you got two heavy hitters from Game of Thrones right there. While we were watching the show, Joy was hitting me with all the facts about how even they got some of the voice actors. Because usually when there's a film adaptation to something like this, voice actors get ignored, things like that. But a lot
I
of
have
the
to
voice
do a lot of
actors-
investigating when we're watching
Yeah.
stuff that I
Yeah.
She
don't.
found out that a lot of the voice actors from the game, or they're not playing their characters. One of them is.
Well,
and it's interesting how there's a character. Which one was it again?
The one you just had on the screen a second
well,
ago.
that's a
Meral
recording.
Dandridge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's the leader of the Fireflies.
Okay.
She is doing the same character that she voiced
Gotcha.
in the video game.
She didn't when as she got older, she was able to. She looked more like her character, and that's why they brought her in.
I was honestly very impressed with how sexy Nick Offerman looked with his long hair. I was like, okay,
But
what
on-
are we doing?
But
The voice of in the video game, the voice of the two main characters, Joel and his brother. They are in the TV series. They're just not obviously not
The
playing
same
their
They're not playing their same
some
character.
other parts.
Gotcha.
And I'm like I love the way HBO did that. They showed love to, like I said, the voice actors. Usually they just go unignored, unpaid, and forgotten and upset. But they this. The reason why this show everybody knew or felt like a film adaptation or a TV series adaptation of this game was going to work is because if you play the game plays like a movie.
Yeah.
It's so captivating. It's a damn good story.
Yep.
And you might have zombie fatigue, but when you have character development to these levels, I mean, that was what was so good about.
Am I going to be really scared? Do I need to watch
No.
it
No,
with someone?
And
that's
was what I was
why-
surprised.
that's why I said
I feel
so
like
far,
yes in like episode
It may
3
be
or 4
coming,
maybe.
but so far, it
Okay.
wasn't really heavy on any.
I'm like, do I have to watch it with my 12-year-old about to be 13-year-old
No,
daughter
it was
because
all-
I'm a
it
big
was
old
all right.
weenie?
No, that's what I was surprised at. There was blood, but there was no gore. It was like
No
walking-
pop outs.
There will be. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
eventually.
the first episode
I'm pretty sure they
was
will.
not
be.
really
So
like
I'm
that.
eventually going to die. I understand.
I feel like they're gonna sneak it up. They're gonna sneak it on you. I feel like that first episode was just to get you
teaser
into
there.
to ease you into the jacuzzi, and then they gonna turn the
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, Justin Timberlake gonna jump in to bring sexy back.
You just circled that right back around.
Yep. You like the way I did that? Yeah, you like that?
They grade him up, as Chris said.
Yeah, they did a very good job on it. I loved it so far. Hey,
It was good.
Okay.
it was good.
I'm excited to watch it. I've been
Person that
wanting
doesn't
to.
really watch horror,
Yeah.
watched it. Hey, that's got to be a ringing endorsement.
And like my desire to watch it is because of the game and just kind
And I
of
didn't
and
play
then
it.
who
And
who's in it.
Anatory, yeah,
and who's
yes.
in it.
Yeah.
So, but
She's the
yeah.
one who was
That's
one
the
of the
one.
voice,
That's her,
voice
yeah.
actresses, and
Yeah.
now is playing a character. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys are thinking about The Walking Dead. About the better version of The Walking Dead, The Last of Us. And share your thoughts below, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later, because I know I'm going to talk about this more than Velma.
Yeah.
Let's move on to, and I'm still going to watch Velma. I'm going to finish it.
Good, do it.
I just hope it gets funnier. All right. Now, we haven't done this in a while. Back in the day, I used to do binge reviews where it was something with like Orange is the New Black, season would come out. I'd watch it within 24 hours and give my review. It was awesome.
lesbian action.
Yeah, I love it. But Joy, you got to binge something
I've been waiting on.
that you was waiting on. What did you think about that 90s show? The sequel to that 80s show.
I will be so upset if Netflix does not give them another season. Because
It's probably gonna not.
I am in love.
Aw.
What was it about
an
it?
easy binge to get through them, and I was sad that there weren't more episodes.
How many episodes was it?
10.
Like 10? Okay.
That was a
And they're
shorter
like
series.
30 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a shorter
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, you crushed it in one day. But
I laughed my ass off all day.
I heard you. I'm up here with my ADHD trying to get it under control, getting the studio back online, and all I could hear from downstairs was, she was going crazy. But
It's
yeah,
I mean, it's in the 90s, so there's a lot of
Bone Thugs.
nostalgia.
Yes.
Some glamour shots. And
Yes, glamour. I have a glamour shot from when I was
I
15.
did
I did too. There's
It
some
was
gl-
black and white, but the dress was colored because that was a
and
thing.
they really did good with the it was hilarious. Some 90210 references. Yeah, some music, a lot of music.
Yeah, you showed me that. You spoiled that one for me. Don't spoil it for me. Yeah. The 90210
Okay,
reference
now
was
I'm kind of
good.
really excited to watch it. All
He
right.
never watched that 70s show.
I
See,
want to watch
that's,
little bits and pieces.
that's a
of it.
comfort show
I
for
know
me.
it's
So I've
fun.
watched it many
Yeah.
times.
It's one of those shows. I know it's funny, but I just haven't had a
So
minute to watch
my
it.
late wife was obsessed with it, so it was like one of those shows that
Love
we
it.
always had on.
And
Yeah. We're
so,
doing that. We're watching Modern Family.
Yeah.
Red and Kitty, of course, are in every episode because it's their
Yeah.
house. Everybody else is new. You do see all the old characters, with the exception of Hyde, because he's in legal trouble and is no
Yep.
longer a
Yep.
friend of a friend. But
Yeah.
he's not mentioned at all. But
Okay.
you do see everybody else.
Okay.
They're
But they've been pushed into the parent
Yes, it's not
background
about
the way
them.
the old parents were.
yeah, it's not about them. They
Yeah.
make an occasional here and there.
Yeah.
like the old parents were. Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
But it's
Wait, what about the neighbors? Are they there?
Well, I
the hot
mean-
wife? And I
well, she wasn't. She was only in the first few seasons, and then left
Oh,
because they
okay.
got divorced. But of course, the neighbor man is Bob. That's
that-
where the "Hey there, hi there, ho there" came
Yeah.
from, because that was his saying. Because that's his granddaughter,
Oh.
Eric and Donna. Bob is Donna's
Correct.
dad, so
yeah.
Yeah.
he's not the neighbor anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Okay, totally excited to see it now.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm down.
I looked at like reviews and stuff, and of course, you've got mixed. You got some people that love it, and you've got others that are like, "Ah, it was stupid," and I didn't think the chemistry was good, and the act, whatever. And I'm like, I saw someone's review was like, the whole cast of the kids, the teenagers, you got a bunch of pudgy kids who aren't acting like teenagers, acting like a bunch of 10-year-olds, and I'm like, first of all,
Whoa.
if you've seen people that make some funny TikToks that'll put a little clip and say, teenagers from today,
Yeah.
me in the 90s.
90s. Very
This-
different.
This
yeah.
is epitome of that. These
Yeah.
are what
Kids
we were in
were.
the 90s.
Yes.
They're not like today, so they don't dress like today.
I did
they
not
don't
look
behave.
like
Yes.
the teenagers that look
They're
like
not
now.
acting like teenagers from today. They're acting like from the 90s, where they're just goofy and
Oh, the embarrassment.
yes.
God,
and
the
these,
embarrassment.
so I was like, no, that is totally accurate.
Yeah.
Totally accurate.
They're kids. They don't know.
So so ringing endorsement. You said you recommend.
Yes,
it.
I thought
You're
it
on
was
the-
hilarious.
You're on the side of
It was a perfect amount of nostalgia and bringing back things, but with a lot of fresh stuff. I enjoyed it and would like to see another season.
Canceled.
No on Netflix.
No, well, yeah, no on Netflix, but
Yeah, that's always
but
nerve-wracking.
just like with the ranch, because of the history of this, the syndication of the old show, I think this was going to be the one that's going to probably get at least a season 2. Maybe it's going to probably
Got
last.
some classic foot in the ass.
Yeah. I think it'll stick around, but I know Netflix's formula is if it's not getting us new subscribers, it's not getting renewed. But they also do make money by having because the reruns are on Netflix, aren't they?
No,
I think they took 'em off.
They took them off. It's
Yeah.
on.
That's probably why they
It's
hurried
on
up and
Peacock.
made this.
Yeah.
That
It's not on Hulu? I thought it was on Hulu.
It's
I
one
watch
or
it
the
on
other.
Peacock.
Oh, okay.
One or
Because that's
the
where
other.
Roseanne is too. I
Oh,
watch
yeah.
them both on Peacock.
Yeah.
Well, everything's on Hulu because they syndicate everything. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about that 90. I almost said that 90 show. Is it better than that 80 show? Let's find out. All right, skipping the next thing, we're gonna move on to the rundown. Let's get to the real quick the rundown part of the show is that's where guys we are going to do a random rundown this time. Just give you a few of our. Well, Tabitha, I had to make a time saving decision. I didn't do mine, and I know you didn't give me yours. So we have 2 random rundowns today. We're going to start with a contribution to the rundown. Person that I saw on Twitter named JALYN, who had a rundown of AI movies and why AI is so bad and whatnot. And I thought that was funny because you guys hate robots, right? So you hate horror in general, and Joy, you just hate robots.
I know. I was showing him
ever since
yesterday how of course it's on my stupid feed. Alive,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a
The live feed of that real
yes, it's
Android.
an AI who's like,
You can ask it questions
but
and
it's
stuff.
like a human-looking face, and then I was like,
Very
"See,
Terminator
that's
1.
What
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got one that, and guys, if you have a list, anything, if you ranked anything or your top favorite movies, whatever you want to send us, just like what JALYN did, and we'll play it right here on the rundown. It might not always be a video, but sometimes we'll just read them off. But we have a video contribution here from JALYN, and she's going to give you her rundown of AI movies that she does not have. Don't worry, you're not on camera. You can yawn all you want to. You're fine.
Sorry.
Good, you're good. But here it is. Let's start with. I hope you guys can hear it. Let me know.
Hey guys, my name's JALYN. I'm a big Letterboxd fan, and I like to create lists that are very unique for me and just things that I think are funny and enjoyable. And I have maybe 30 or 40 lists, but I make lists for literally everything. This list I have is why AIs are a bad idea. This was inspired by me watching I Am Mother, which is on Netflix. Has Hilary Swank in it. Basically a robot that raises a girl from birth and basically destroys the human population to create like a more legit human race. We got Ex Machina. I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I had to include this. Next we got Age of Ultron. Of course it's Age of Ultron. Tony Stark created this. This is number 1 for me on why AIs are a bad idea. Next we got literally every Terminator movie, and if you've seen Terminator, you get what I'm saying. Yes, I'm afraid of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in this. I would hate to live in this reality. Next we got iRobot, of course, with Will Smith. Super terrifying, and seeing everybody like buy robots and then buying updated robots and then those robots basically going haywire. Terrifying. Next we got Megan, which I most recently saw. Absolutely terrifying, but also hilarious. I would hate to have a robot like this that helps me out. Creeped me out and was also funny when she was singing Titanium. And next we got Outside the Wire with the amazing Anthony Mackie, who is a super soldier robot and basically just does what he wants to do and kind of goes haywire at the end of the movie. And next we got Hardwire, which is one of my friends recommended it to me. I put it on this list so I know to go back to it and watch it. But I've heard good things about this, and it's basically just like a super crazy robot that kind of goes haywire. But this is my list on why AIs are a bad idea. I know we're going into the future, so it's kind of crazy to see everything like this. But yeah, if you guys have any like recommendations of like what to add on this list, You can find me at Sandra Loves Movies on Letterboxd, or Lost in Life Translation on TikTok, or JALYN Sanderson on Twitter.
Nobody heard any of that. I caught the mic before you told me to turn the mic on. Thank you again, JALYN, for your contribution, guys. If you want to submit something to the Rundown Top 5, whatever ranking, that's all I was saying while I was muted. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you again, JALYN, for your contribution. Tabitha has a rundown of her own. I didn't do my homework. You're all caught up.
Okay, so I have top 5 stereotypes lesbians. So it's like basically terminology used to describe types of lesbians. So my number 5, for all of my people who, I got to clue the non-lesbians here in on what the terms are. We've got number 5 is Pillow Princess.
What is a pillow princess?
Yes. So Pillow Princess is someone who likes to receive but not give. So they will receive all day and just lay like the princesses that they are, but they don't give. All right. Number 4.
You know who was a pillow princess? What was that movie? Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it. Was Scarlett Johansson was in it with him. It was a movie where they were dating, and he was always
with
asking.
them too? With Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. He was like, "This, she's the type." He said it in before it even happened. She's the type of girl, you can tell by looking at her. She's the type of girl that definitely would love me to do that for her, but she would never do it for him. And he was right. Okay. She always had an excuse of why she wouldn't do it. But I'm sorry.
All right, number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 is.
Right, write this down, baby. Pillow princess.
The term is called baby gay. So others utilize this as a term for either like people who are just discovering their sexuality, or people who are like late in life lesbians. They're still even a baby gay, and that it's just a matter of how long you've been aware of your sexuality, being a lesbian, gay, whatever it may be. And then my number 3, which honestly pairs well with my number 5, is a touch me not. Touch me not is someone who tends to be more masculine, does not want to receive, but wants to give and give and give and give. So a touch me not often needs to find a pillow princess. They are the perfect couple.
Oh, okay.
That's how that works.
That's okay. It's the circle of life.
And then one of the ones that I like to point out, because it's my number 2. I have a love-hate relationship with this term, is dom femmes.
Dom femme.
A dom femme is typically a feminine presenting lesbian who
wears wife beaters?
Not really, but tends to be very aggressive or assertive or domineering. Basically, you're one that dominates the relationship, be it in the bedroom or not. So that's your femdoms. Or your dom femmes. And then the number 1, which is always made fun of and talked about, which weirdly enough I look a little bit alike today, is your hey mamas.
Hey little mama.
Your hey mamas. So there's actually some controversy going around TikTok right now, which is I think why this is a very good number 1 about the hey mamas. Some people, which I know you have what I would classify as a stud on the screen. So that's to me more.
I typed in "Hey Mama" and that's what came up.
So that to me is more of a
maybe
stud.
She has a song about it.
Hey Mamas tend to be white females on the younger side who wear like the beanies or the hats. They tend to be more masculine presenting with the baggy clothes. They've got the rings. They tend to be very like all about themselves, and they're like, "Hey, mama." They approach women like that. They're very confident, overly confident. Sometimes they should not be confident, but they tend to be your.
You ain't got nothing to be confident about.
They tend to be your fuckboys for the lesbian world, is what a hey mama is. But yes, they tend to swipe the lip. I know I have some hey mama traits, okay?
She got a touch of hey mama.
I got a touch
I'm
of
not
hey
a hey
mama.
mama. I'm hey mama-ish.
Hey mama-ish. I do be having to approach the ladies because nobody approaches me. So that is a common occurrence.
But
But
there you go.
those are your top 5 stereotypes for lesbians. There are a ton of terms, and we could put more on this list, but those are kind of my favorite to, mess with.
Awesome. There you go. All right. That was your top 5. What is it?
Lesbian stereotypes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
He learned some things today.
Yeah.
Learned some things today.
I feel like changing into a different sweater and changing my shoes and singing about a beautiful day in the neighborhood real quick. Yeah. I've always wanted to be a lesbian just like you.
He does really badly want. Yeah. Desperately.
Like, hey, mama. How you doing?
And by the way, a stud, just so we're aware, because this is something that I think a lot of young lesbians still hate to recognize. If you're white, you cannot be a stud. That is strictly for women of color. So stop using it. You're also not a STEM, because that's a stud and a femme combined. So you cannot be that either if you're white. So stop trying to use it. It doesn't look good on you.
Yeah.
That is meant for women of color. Let them have it. Stop trying to take it away. You have many other terms you can utilize to describe yourself. You are not a STEM. You are not a stud.
See, and see, she gives that public service announcement for white people, and it's well received by the chat room. But when I make the same point about Miley Cyrus, and all of a sudden I'm attacking her. No, it's not for you.
No.
Miley, it's
No.
not for you. Stop
No.
twerking.
No,
It's
Miley's
not
allowed
for
to
you.
twerk.
No.
Twerking is not meant for just people of color. It's
You want to go back to the 90s and have that discussion?
Excuse me, I was there in the 90s with a fat ass.
So what white person invented twerking?
No, I didn't say they invented it, but
It's not
twerking is
for
a
you.
dance move.
That started where?
Technically, I really don't know where it started.
Africa.
Oh, but that's not what we're doing anymore. That's not the dance.
I'm
That's a
doing it.
different dance.
She just hates it when I tag Miley.
I do
Miley.
not like it when he attacks Miley. I don't even really like Miley.
I'm glad you got your flowers, but stop twerking.
He's glad you got your flowers. That was actually really funny.
But Hemsworth ain't better than you. I'm on your side on that one. I am on your side, Molly. I am on your side. I just didn't appreciate you. I'll just say it like that. I didn't appreciate your face. Let's go. Let's move on before I open up an Elvis.
He's about to open up a real can of worms.
Because I'll get passionate. I will defend myself. Oh, guys, that is a run. We're gonna go and we're gonna finish the rest off real fast in overtime, guys. We're gonna turn off the stream. We're gonna hopefully be able to record for like 5 minutes and talk about what we're not allowed to talk about today.
Yes.
I was gonna read off some tweets about the movie we saw. We were able to see the movie You People, starring Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. You guys won't be able to see it until it comes out on the 27th, I believe, on Netflix. That's when it comes out. But if you catch it, you might be able to catch an advanced screening. So look for your local advanced screenings. There might be some more playing. But we were invited to an advanced screening of it. We're not allowed to go into full review mode on it. But I did tweet something real quick on it. The social media embargo lifted on Monday, but the full review embargo doesn't lift until tomorrow morning. So we're going to give our review offline, and you'll see it tomorrow morning. So we're going to talk about that for a few minutes, like 3-4 minutes, and then go home and go to sleep and all that stuff, because my ADHD is keeping us up way past Tabitha's bedtime. So let's close the show off on that. Babe, I'll do it. I'll close the show off for us. If you want to be found online, if you want to tell those nurse and the other medical field staff where they can get the hookup, like Master P, where can they find you online?
On TikTok, it's Just Joy, and Instagram, it's Scrub Hat Some More by Joy, and my Etsy store is Scrub Cap Some More by Joy.
I see. Right here. I don't know if you can. I kept the description on the top of the screen now instead of at the bottom. It's right there next to you, right there.
Right.
And if you want to find me, it's at Chris W. Fagan or talking at T3 Medias. That's that's me. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't call me Tink Tink.
Tink tink.
All right. And the creator of that damn nickname for me that she stole from Cat Williams. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on TikTok at letshavefun012, and then you can find me on Instagram at tabitha.jordan.18. Yeah, that's me.
Guys, and so sorry again to I know Nixon was in the chat room wondering where her commercials were at. I was pressed for time. We're already way past our bedtime. Sorry about that, Nixon. We'll play your commercials next week. I promise. Once the studio is back online, I totally went ham in this studio. So I apologize for that, guys. So yeah, no goal was met this week. So you guys aren't going to be able to peek behind the curtain when me, Joy, and Tabitha go after dark. Take that as you will. We don't work for the Tennessee Police Department, so we're clear.
Mom and Dad's getting NC-17 on me.
Guys, appreciate you guys for checking us out on the rundown. Guys, remember, send your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, send your lists, whatever you want us to run down, send them to us, and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Follow us on, we're here on YouTube, on Twitch as well. If you're following us on Twitch, man, if you're a Twitch head, hit that damn button. Quit playing with me. Miley. I'm just so jealous of her.
You really are.
I'm projecting.
You are. You really want to be able to twerk like her.
I hate you, Miley. Love you, Miley. That's what it is. I would have given you those flowers. I don't want you, Miley. I want to be you. Want to know what it's like to smell a Hemsworth.
That was good.
What's that like? What's that cologne like? All right, guys. Until next time, guys, have a good one.